What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Masculine Energy. So what you see on your screen is, of course, the vibrational chart, and you'll understand why I'm talking about this chart in a moment. But I had an email from a guy today, or yesterday, but I'm reading it today, and he asked me, what do exes do when they miss you? Do they regret do they regret leaving you? Do they regret all their decisions that they made, et cetera, right? So, and I always through all my coaching tell them to understand this chart. And this won't be a long video. But when you ask that question, right, you're coming from a specific angle vibrationally. And why does that even matter? Okay. Well, when you are operating in this life, when you first meet your girlfriend, for example, you aren't thirsty for them. Some guys are. But you're not thirsty for that particular personality and that particular person. You are trying to see where things are going, which is a very neutral energy to have. However, if you're desperate and individually, you're going to be down here in terms of a vibrational standpoint, especially desire. A lot of people are, I have a couple of students that are in my monthly coaching program that have this right here, heavy desire, lust, right? I need a relationship. I need companionship. That's what they feel. That's what they think. So when they meet somebody new, they come off very thirsty, very attached, and they end up pushing that away because this energy is going to run away from this kind of energy naturally, right? That's why you don't see very high net worth, high vibrational people hanging out with like homeless and bums. You just don't see it. It is what it is. You know, I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. So when you ask a question like, what does my ex feel like? Do they regret? Will they regret, their decisions, et cetera, et cetera? When you go down that path of thinking, you're going to be, again, operating from a specific kind of energy, frequency, and again, without the whole woo-woo aspect to it, the spiritual side. That's why you see a lot of people just saying, let go. Forget about them. Like it's that easy, right? I see a lot of, here's the funny thing about making breakup content. I know, and those guys know, the people who have already gone to the other side and letting go, who've already moved on, who are already in new relationships, will come on to breakup channels and they'll say, just move on, bro. It's actually super annoying because yes, that is what you should do most of the time, half of the time, 70% of the time. You should be doing that because the relationship that you were hungering for is probably never going to work. But they are speaking to people who are emotionally just going to brush you off. When they see that kind of stuff, because when I was going through it, people would tell me that same shit. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I would just feel the way I felt. So when I see that kind of stuff, it just irks me because I'm like, look, you were there, so you understand what they're thinking. And you're trying to, again, the position that people are coming from is a helpful one because they're trying to tell you what to do to get to a better place. But if you do this work here, because again, from a physical standpoint, not from the spiritual standpoint, if you're thirsty for something, you are not going to be in the most attractive position. Now, I'm telling you why on a spiritual level that happens. We all know this. People want what they can't have. People want, people want things that they can't easily get. Quality people are hard to find. So that's why, because on a spiritual, energetic level, that's what's happening here. Okay. Now, this is where a lot of the world is hanging out, down here. And this is rare. So these people that are in purple are not going to want to date people that are acting like, especially because say you're normally in, this range, like the blue and the green, right? You're going to have some days where you're off or whatever. Not everybody's always going to be up here unless you're like a monk, right? But say you're generally speaking up here in purple or blue and you're acting like bottom green, angry. I know people that are full of anger. Well, in order to get out of this, guys, because a lot of you are acting like this, you have to begin acting this way or pursuing things this way. So this says happy, and then it's down here, this says defeated, lethargic, I lose, unconscious, just surviving, hopeless despair. So coming out the other side, this is just my personal experience, by the way, and helping other people do this. This is why going to the gym is so powerful. You're starting to put yourself in a position where you're doing this. You're going from bottom to top, bottom to top. So when you go to the gym, you feel good, right? And plus you're acting in a masculine way. You're activating your masculine energy, and you're going into this section here, okay? Now, when you probably, as soon as many of you guys get out of the gym, you're going to be down right back down here because you're going to get reminded. But as the days go on, right, you come back up here, right? So you're going to start having more green days, blue, purple, right? So when you are trusting of the process, so what people ask me during a breakup is, what can I expect during this breakup? And really what they're saying is, are they going to come back to me or not? And I say, I don't know. That's always what I say. I don't know. But you have to trust the process of no contact. You have to trust the process of breaking up. You have to trust this process and understand that, you know, yes, I can guide you and on what to say if they do come back. That's what I do, right? So whenever anybody joins coaching, I'm like, hey, if they do say something to you, I will be in your corner. So I say, don't miss a day at the gym. Go twice if you have to. Okay. And all the fucking muscle heads are going to be like, overtraining. So just go. Do whatever it takes to get you out of this right now. Now, being down here does actually have some benefit in the idea of you do have to grieve your breakup. You have to take time to go, okay, this is where we failed. This is not working. This is not good, etc. So you're going to be stuck here only if you don't go and do these things. So for example, people tell you to practice gratitude, right? Being grateful. Okay. That's getting you to jump up higher in a vibrational standpoint. When you understand that how you feel inside radiates outside. Okay. This is why people who are already up here attract so much more abundance to their life, because this is where abundance lies. Abundance is already here. Love is already up here. Love is radiating always. I remember on my Instagram, there was a guy, I can't remember, Sebastian something. And he's always in a suit and he's always giving advice and he's very wise. But love is shining everywhere. You just don't see it because you're down here. It's easy. If you talk to these people up here, they have great people in their lives. Okay. It's just hard to see when most of the world is down here. Okay. So you going through a breakup and climbing this and going up this that's why becoming aware is the beginning of the push for that. So usually I just recommend 2 books, the Letting Go by David Hawkins and the Sedona Method. Sedona Method talks about this same thing in an ag flap cap: apathy, grief, fear, lust, which is inside desire, anger, and pride, right? So they talk about it here. Okay. So now CAP is courage, acceptance, and peace. Okay. So CAP is where things are when you're abundant, when you're happy, when you're doing well. So read those 2 books because they have all of the emotions that you're going to experience in them. And when you're aware of them, then you can start working through the process. Now, another question I get from guys and the same guy asked the same question. How do I stop thinking about her? And the short answer is you don't. You can't. It doesn't really work that way. If that was the case, you wouldn't learn anything. None of us would, because you have to be. Life teaches you things because it is a bitch in terms of how it wants to teach you lessons. It will help. You revisiting and going through the pain over and over again is the fastest way to get you to learn something. And we're all here to learn things. All of us. So you going through a breakup is going to shine some light on whatever could possibly be going wrong with you or be going wrong in your relationships or the people that you choose. It's revealing something to you. So when you become aware, which is the 2 books that I recommend, they're going to be Letting Go's in the description box, and I'm going to get a link for Sedona Method for you, and I'll put it in the description box as well. So that's it for this video so far. And the guy is acting down here, right? And she is up here because right now she is happy and relieved to be out of the relationship. But what I've seen is women, or not women, but dumpers, Sometimes we'll go back down here if you start acting right. Sort of this table gets like the tables get reversed a little bit, because if you start acting with abundance and you're like, oh, I'm just going to move on to a new relationship, which is what those people are telling you to do, right? In the comments. Then if you're acting abundantly and there are other people that you're dating, etc., right? You're acting abundant, or you're and see, people do this artificially, and then there are people who do it for real. Doing it for real is you letting go of all the baggage and letting go of this and actually acting and being up here, being, I don't like the word act. Being is the word. So make sure you're meditating, make sure you're reading, becoming aware. Awareness is the step one for you guys. And that's where all of you guys need to go, because from there's a different path you have to take, which is probably a different video or a different channel entirely. If you want coaching, it is down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Done.